In this video, I'll be installing the Computer Lab plugin piece for AccuSQL. And again, Computer Lab plugin is used to make every computer in a lab its own sign-in station. So I would install the plugin piece on each of those lab computers, and then I'm going to point it to a SQL Server database that I've already transferred out there. So in this example, and I would recommend go ahead and already have your SQL Server database ready to connect to. Okay? So I'm going to open up my installation folder here, and I have an AccuSQL.exe. That's my main program launcher. You'll also notice I have an SQL plugin 2014 folder here. So that has my installer for Computer Lab in it. So I'll just run setup.exe here. And that will install the Computer Lab. So you would install this on each of the lab PCs. And I'll read the license agreement, accept, and accept the default path, installation path, and go ahead and click install. Okay, so once that's done, I'll click Finish, and I have a shortcut here on my desktop. Now, the first time I open the Computer Lab, I'm going to open and cancel opening it. The reason being, it's going to write a folder out to my public users public documents folder, and it does that to create a file we need called dbparam. Okay, dbparam stores the parameters that will be used to store the connection information to the SQL Server database. So let me show you how that works. Okay, I open the Computer Lab the first time, and it's asking for a database directory. Well, I don't have a database directory on this computer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. But when I do so, you'll notice out in my users public documents, it's created an AccuTrack folder here, and then an I folder underneath that. Okay, so that's where it's going to store my dbparam folders. And I'll show you how I'm going to use that for my shared path for the Computer Lab. You'll see that in a second. Okay, but once I have my dbparam written out there, now I'm ready to connect to my database. Okay, and I do that by opening the folder where the Computer Lab is installed. And in that folder, I have an executable file here. It's called setDataPath. Okay, so I use that to set the location to the database. Okay, and then I want to pick SQL Server. I've already got my SQL Server database waiting for me, so I'll click Next, enter the information for SQL Server. And I'm going to use SA credentials so I can get a list of my databases. And click my drop-down box. That will show me all of the databases available to me out on that SQL Server. Okay, and I'll pick Accu 2014 Tutoring, and I can test my connection here. Okay, now, but what I want to do is, you see I have an application shared path. Okay, that's just a path where it writes out temp files, files it needs to run. So I'm going to use that same path that it created itself out in my public folder. Excuse me. The reason being is I know I have read, write, modify permissions to that folder, and I'll need that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this path out to that I folder, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, now I can test my connection, make sure it's happy, and then I'm going to save my information. Okay, so the connection information is saved. Now I'll go ahead and X out of this program, the setDataPath program, and then reopen the Computer Lab plugin, and now I'll be pointing to that database out in SQL Server. And now I'm ready to log into the plugin. Now if I log in with administrator credentials, I have a few options available to me. One is my database location. Well, that's what I just set using set data path, so all that information is retained. Also, I can designate local labs, which we have videos out on our YouTube channel for that. But anyway, it's ready to go now. I can return to my sign-in screen, and now I can sign in as a student. This would be what a student would see when they sign into that lab computer. Okay, thank you.